Back to On Your Side tonight, Mo wants to know. That's the slogan for North Carolina's new state superintendent. Mo Green was sworn into office on January 1st, and he's on a listening tour to hear from students, parents, teachers, and the community. Green says most of the frustration centers around funding, from how much the state spends on each student to teacher pay. Let's take a closer look at those numbers for you to see what we're talking about here. North Carolina falls behind our border states when it comes to per pupil spending. South Carolina spends $17,463 per student. In Virginia, it's $12,638, while North Carolina, lower, $11,777 each student. So Green wants the state's numbers to increase. So he has a lot to accomplish, while he's also, by the way, making history. Green is the first African-American superintendent here in North Carolina. WBTV's Dedrick Russell traveled to Raleigh to go one-on-one with the state superintendent, talk about his goals, the challenges, and motivation. It's tonight's cover story.
Take a look. These pictures show all the North Carolina state superintendents. Mo Green's picture will eventually go on this wall. He will be the first African American to do so.
First of all, it's incredibly humbling to be that person.
He says being the first is one thing, but getting the job done is more important. DPI reports more than 50% of students in North Carolina passed state exams last year. When it comes to reading scores for black students, some grades haven't reached a 40% proficiency rate.
We know that these students are capable. They are intelligent. They're not revealing it on the examination. So I think about that every day and know that we have to do some dramatic things to have better results.
One dramatic thing is the state was recently awarded a $25 million grant from the Golden Leaf Foundation. Schools can apply for that extra funding soon to help improve reading and math scores. Also, to boost academic achievement, the top educator wants to explore improvements in existing early literacy programs, early college programs, and figure out a way how to rehire retired teachers without them getting penalized financially.
Which might require some adjustments to our retirement system, right? That will keep some seasoned, experienced educators working.
Green is no stranger to challenges. He has held several executive positions within the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District. He was superintendent of Guilford County School District and worked in the private sector. He believes being state superintendent is now his assignment.
I do believe that North Carolina is positioned to be the very best public school system in the entire country.
While fighting for academic improvements, he will also fight for more funding from state leaders, especially teacher pay. North Carolina now ranks 38th in the nation. Having conversations with politicians is now part of the strategy to help boost pay.
Rather than coming out and saying we need to have blah, is to try to understand why people have placed the compensation in this instance for educators where they've placed it. And understand what's behind that.
I asked about the thought of the Department of Education going away and how would that impact North Carolina. Green says he will have to wait to see how that all shakes up. But he says North Carolina gets about 10% of its funding from the federal government. That money helps support exceptionally challenged students and schools with many low-income students.
These are dollars that have to continue to flow. How they flow, we can work through.
We also touched on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that are now going away. Green says those programs will remain in the schools.
It starts with a mindset and a commitment, of which my mindset is we're all ought to be celebrated, and regardless of background, race, gender, we all should be celebrated.
Green has his work cut out for him, and he says the community has their work cut out for them also.
This cannot be simply Mo Green having the conversations with folks and think that Mo Green is going to be the one that delivers better compensation for our educators. It's all of us.
In Raleigh, Dedrick Russell, WBTV, on your side tonight.
Dedrick, thank you. Turning back to our weather right now.